Is anyone remaining? Okay, is anyone remaining to write their name and roll number? Or everyone has written it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Now, good morning once again to everyone.
Morning, sir.
In the last chapter or the last discussion that we had, we saw a video. First, we will revise what we did last time and then we will move forward. In the last lecture, what we discussed about how flood situation occurs. You saw a video of Nainital where there was a flood situation and how water was moving from very with great speed and there was water everywhere. We also saw what is transpiration. We also learned and discussed about evaporation and also condensation. In the last lecture, we also saw how what are the uses of water, how much water do we use, and where do we get water from, which are the main sources of water. Now, what we are going to do today is we will discuss how clouds are formed and how water goes back to the ocean. So, can you please take out your textbook, all of you, on page number 140? Is everyone on page number 140?
Yes.
Okay. I will ask someone to read, but I will speak the roll number. That person will read, no one else. Roll number 21. Who is roll number 21? Roll number 21. Mithani Mohammed Hussain.
Yes, sir.
Please read page
No,
number
sir.
140. How clouds are formed.
How are clouds formed? Activity 3. Take a glass half filled with water. Wipe the glass from the outside with a clean piece of cloth. Add some ice into the water. Wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Observe the changes that take place on the outer surface of the glass. Peak 14.6 from where do water drops appear on the outer side of the glass, the cold surface of the glass containing iced
ફાસ્ટ ને અવાજ નથી
water.
આવતો.
I don't want anyone else to speak in between, please.
સાહેબ પણ અવાજ નથી આવતો, હાવ ધીમો આવે છે.
Then raise your hands. There is no need to speak in between.
Iced water cools the air around it and the water vapor of the air condenses on the surface of the glass. We notice this process of condensation in activity 7 in chapter 5. The process of condensation plays an important role in bringing water back to the surface of Earth. How does it happen? As we go higher from the surface of the Earth, it gets cooler. When the air warms up, it gets cooler and cooler. At sufficient height, the air becomes so cool that the water vapor present in the condensate to form tiny drops of the water called droplets. It is these tiny droplets that remain floating in air and appear to us as cloud. It 14.7. It so happened that many droplets of water come together to form larger sized drop of water. Some drop of water become so heavy that they began to fall. These falling water drops are what we call rain. In special conditions in May, so may also fall a hail or snow. Thus, water in the form of vapor goes into the air by evaporation and transpiration, forms a cloud and then becomes back to the ground as rain, hail or snow. 14.4
Okay,
back
that's
to
it. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. Now, this topic states that what happens is how our clouds form. So, in order to form a cloud, clouds are actually made up of water, small water droplets. Now, what happens is our atmosphere is in such a condition where lower part of the earth or lower part of the atmosphere close to the ground is warm, and as we move higher, it becomes cooler. So this is what happens when sun heats water sources. Water evaporates and it goes up in the atmosphere. When they reach at a certain height, they get converted into small water droplets. Now these water droplets, when they come together, they appear to us as a cloud. Have you understood?
yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Now
sir.
this activity says that you can take a glass, put some water in it, and put some ice cubes inside the water. Now, after some time, what you will observe is that there are small drops of water on the outer surface of the glass. Have you seen the cold drink, a glass filled with cold drink? The outer surface becomes wet and small droplets of water gathers around the outer surface. Now, this is an example of condensation. Similar happens on a large scale in our atmosphere when water evaporates and goes upwards into the up towards the upper
Sir,
part
good
of the
morning.
atmosphere. There water gets collected and it gets converted from vapor state to liquid state again. That process is called condensation. Is it clear?
Sir,
Condensation is clear?
yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir,
Yes,
સર
say it.
સર સ્ક્રીન શેર કરો ને મારી પાસે ટેક્સ્ટ બુક નથી. યસ સર.
I will share the textbook PDF with you, but now I cannot share the screen with you because I have to explain it. So, and why I'll share the textbook PDF in the group. You can download that PDF, or it is also available online. NCRT textbook.
યસ સર.
What is your name? Who doesn't have the textbook? Roll number, please.
25.
Roll
34.
number.
27.
40. Roll number 21.
Okay. All of you doesn't have a textbook.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No.
1 minute. Just give me a minute. Let me write the roll numbers. Who doesn't have textbook? Okay. Those who don't have a textbook, can you repeat your roll number once again, please? Those who don't have textbook, can you please say your roll number or write down your roll number in your comment box? Can everyone hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Those who don't have textbook with them, can you please write your roll number in comment box? Lakhani Ghazi Abbas. Lakhani Ghazi Abbas, do you have your text? જે લોકો પાસે ટેક્સ્ટ બુક નથી એ પોતાનો રોલ નંબર કમેન્ટ બોક્સમાં લખો પ્લીઝ. ઓકે, રોલ નંબર 5.
સર જેની પાસે ટેક્સ્ટ બુક નથી ઈ લખે.
હા, જેની પાસે નથી એ લખો. I have only one name. Why is it taking you so much time? Write down your roll number. It means everyone has a textbook, right? Except roll number 5. Others have textbook.
Yes.
Okay. Roll number 21.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, not roll number 21. Roll number 25.
Yes, sir.
Can you please read page number 141?
कौन सा?
Back to the ocean.
Back to the ocean. What
14.4 back to the oceans.
what happened to the water that land and snow belong to different lilies of earth? Almost all land surface are above the level of ocean. Most of the water that fall on the land has land land and snow sooner or later goes back to the ocean. This happens in many ways. Snow is the mountain melts into water.
Melt into water.
This water flow down the mountain in the form of the streams and rivers. Figure 14.8. Some of the water that fall on land as land also flow in the form of rivers and streams. Most of the rivers cover long distance on land and un, un, un,
Ultimately,
ultimately fall into a sea or an ocean. However, water of some river flow into the lake.
okay,
The
thank you.
lake.
Thank
Welcome.
you, on. Thank you.
Welcome.
Now, what happens when it rains heavily? After it rained, water goes back to the ocean. But how does it goes back to the ocean? Now, river gets filled with water after the rain, and once the rivers are filled, it takes water back to the ocean. It's not only through by after rain that water goes back to the ocean. On mountain, the snow melts, and that snow melt water goes again also forms a river, and it also takes that water back to the ocean. It travels a lot of distance to back going back to the ocean. Now, what is the other form apart from that? Some water gets into the ground, it gets seeped into the ground, and we use that water as a groundwater, because during rain the water flows into the river, and from river some water which has fallen on the ground, it gets inside the ground, it seeps into the ground, and that water is collected below the ground. That water we call it as a groundwater. Roll number 37. Rule number 37. Who is rule number 37? Okay. Roll number 40. Roll number 40. I will put absent in front of those who are not going to reply.
સર કાક બોલો.
I am going to put absent in front of those who are not going to reply. Roll number 37. Roll number 40.
Yes, sir.
Who is roll number 40?
Roll number 40, sir.
What is your name?
Rosani Muntazir.
Okay, read page number 141.
Sir, હું read કરું.
Wait. Raujani Muntazir Abbas.
Sir, હવે હું કરી લઉં.
Okay. What is your roll number?
34. Rahmani Ali Reza. Yes.
Read it.
Fig 14.8. Rainwater flows down in the form of streams and rivers. The rainwater also fills the lakes and ponds. A part of the rainwater gets absorbed by the ground and seems to disappear in the soil. Some of this water is brought back to the air by the process of evaporation and transpiration. The rest seeps into the ground. Most of this water becomes available to us as ground water. Open wells are fed by ground water. Groundwater is the source of many lakes as well. It is also this groundwater which is drawn by a hand pump or a tube well. The more hand pumps or tube wells that are used in an area, the deeper we need to dig to find this ground water. The loss in the level of groundwater due to overuse is worrisome. Pally wants to share a continent with you in those areas where the land has little or no vegetation. Water flows quick
Vegetation.
vegetation. The rainwater flows away quickly. Flowing rainwater also takes the top layer of the soil away with it. There are few areas where most of the land is covered with concrete. This reduces the seepage of rainwater into the ground, which ultimately affects the availability of groundwater.
Okay, thank you. Wait. Now, when it rains on the ground, water gets seeped into the ground, and that is collected into the groundwater. But due to increase in population, lot of people are taking water from the ground, and ground level water is decreasing day by day. Now, Paheli, as a character, it states that there is another concern also when it rains heavily, top layer of the soil, dhul and mati, it gets washed away into the rivers and it goes into the ocean. Now, that is a loss because the top layer is a fertile soil and it is used to grow crops. When it rains heavily, top layer is washed away. Apart from that, lot of places are Now we have concrete and cemented roads. Now, if water falls on concrete and cement road, water does not seep into the ground. If it's a soft soil, like soil from the garden or soil from the agricultural land, the water gets collected and then it seeps into the seep means अंदर भी जाओ जमीन के अंदर भी जाओ. But generally on concrete and on cemented road it does not happen. So that is again a loss of water. So in order to conserve water, we have to be very careful while using water. So groundwater decreasing day by day because of overpopulation and overuses, because we are using at our home, we are using water in factories, we are using water in agriculture, in construction, everywhere we are using water. So we have to be very careful while using water in all these places, and we have to conserve water as much as possible. Now, I hope you all have understood how water falls from the sky in the form of rain. It goes, it fills the river. In river, it goes back to the ocean. In ocean, again it is heated, and then again evaporates and it forms clouds and it rains and rivers are filled. This complete process is called water cycle. Have you understood what is water cycle, all of you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I will
yeah.
show you a video. I'll share a video. I will share a video with you. You can see that would give you a better
Yes.
idea. In case if you have any doubt, you can raise your hand after the video.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. સર
Yes.
જરાક ફોન આવ્યો હતો ને એટલે લેફ્ટ થઈ ગયો હતો. સર વોઇસ બરાબર નથી આવતો.
Voice no way.
શાંતિ રહી.
તને કીધું તને કોઈ કીધું નથી.
Have you seen this video?
Yes.
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 Yes, sir.
Okay.
બધી
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now next roll number 5. Who is roll number 5? Roll number 5. Okay. Roll number 3. Who is roll number 3? you listen to what I'm saying, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, who's roll number three? Ali Abbas. And Gain Ali Abbas.
Yes.
Why are you silent? Read page number 143.
Sorry, હું રીડ કર્યો.
Are you roll number three? Roll number three. And Gain Ali Abbas. Sorry, Ali Asgar. I'm sorry, Ali Abbas. Okay. Who is roll number 15?
Pleasant.
Okay. Can you read page number 143? How can we conserve water? Kalania Mohammed Ubaid.
મારી પાસે ટેક્સ્ટ બુક નથી.
Okay, when I asked you to write your roll number, why didn't you mention that you don't have textbook?
ક્યાં બોલ સર?
જ્યારે મેં પૂછ્યું હતું કે ટેક્સ્ટ બુક કોની પાસે નથી તો કોઈ ખાલી રોલ નંબર 5 સિવાય બાકી કોઈ નથી કીધું. કેમ? રોલ નંબર 19 લાખાણી મહેદી રઝા. રોલ નંબર 19. Okay, again I'm repeating. Those who will not answer, I'll mark their absent. Do you want me to mark you absent? Because only 2 or 3 students are active in this class. Others have put their phone on silent and they are not responding. Roll number 27.
Yes, sir.
Can you read, please?
Yes.
How can we conserve water? Page number 143.
How can we conserve water? Only a small fraction of water available on the earth is fit for use of plants, animals, and humans. Most of the water is in the oceans and it cannot be used directly when the level of the ground. Water discourages dry drastically. This cannot be used anymore. The total amount of water on earth remains the same, but the water available for use is very limited and is decreasing with our usage. The demand for water is increasing day by day. The number of people using water is increasing with rising population. In many cities, long queues for
Q.
collection of water are a common sight. Figure 14.12. Also, more and more water is being used for production food, and by the industries. These factors are leading
To shortage of water in many parts of the world. Hence, it is very important that water is used very carefully. We should take care of and not to waste water. Now, in this topic, they want to explain that how can we conserve water. We all know that we have to conserve water. There is lot of water on this planet, but most of that water is not fit for our use. We cannot use that water. Ocean water is not usable. Apart from that, we get out of 12 months, we get only 2 or 3 months of rain, and that rainwater also gets used. That also washed. That is also goes back to the ocean through river. We have a very small amount of water in the form of river, lake, or groundwater that we use throughout the year. Now we all know that day by day population is increasing, and due to increasing population, people are using more water. Apart from that, we are also using water for construction, water in industries, water in agriculture. Everywhere we are using that water. So there is obviously a scarcity of water. We are getting less. We have less water, and more people who wants to use the water. So what can be done? We have to conserve water by using less water. We should not play with water. We should not waste water. We should use water only when necessary. We should, while bathing, we should not leave the tap on. While brushing, we should not leave the tap on. Once the water use is over, we should close the tap. If there is any leakage in water tap, we have to repair those leakage. These are the methods by which we can save water from our side. Apart from that, there is another topic which is rainwater harvesting. How do we harvest rainwater? Now, in order to harvest rainwater, it's a simple method. If you have your own house, we can build a pit, a khado. It is called khado, and around, near our house. And when rain falls on the terrace of our house, that gets collected into the pit. That pit is actually acts as a filter. We can use it multi-purposely. We can either use that pit. Also acts as a well, and water gets seeped into the ground. And once water is collected in it, after some time we can use that water for washing our clothes, for I'm sorry, not for cooking, but if it's clean water, we can use it for washing clothes and for other daily household activities. For drinking water, we obviously have to filter that water, boil that water, and then drink that water. But that is a method of water harvesting. Now, does anyone has any doubt in water harvesting and not to waste water? How
No,
can we
sir,
conserve
no
water
doubt.
No,
from?
sir.
Okay, I will share now. Listen, all of you, very carefully. This brings an end to this chapter. I will share the notes of this chapter on a group on our group, and I'll also share the textbook on the group. Start completing your notebooks because we will soon ask you to submit your notebooks writing. Am I clear?
Ye- Yes, sir.
Yes.
ઓકે જે લોકોને નથી
Oh,
સમજાણું
yes, sir.
આ ગ્રુપની અંદર નોટ્સ હું મૂકીશ તમારે નોટબુકમાં એ નોટ્સ લખવાના છે અને હું જેની પાસે ટેક્સ્ટબુક નથી પીડીએફ નોટ ટેક્સ્ટબુકની પીડીએફ પણ મૂકું છું ગ્રુપની અંદર એને ડાઉનલોડ કરી લેવાની છે ને જ્યારે ટેક્સ્ટબુક આપણે રીડિંગ કરીએ ત્યારે એ પીડીએફનો યુઝ કરવાનો જેની પાસે ટેક્સ્ટબુક નથી ઓકે
Okay, sir.
okay now you can okay that's it that's all for today all of you thank you now you can leave one by one to the office
Sir, Khuda Hafiz.
office